Hi, my name is Jacob Adams. I'm a fitness and leadership coach. I help people just like you get to the next level. Have you been interested or have you already done Jordan Peterson's past authoring program? I did mine in November 2017. So I'm making this video on February 27th, 2019. So that puts me at 1 year and 3 months virtually. And so I wanted to get on here and share exactly what's happened. As I've explained in one of my other videos, the 6-month mark, the struggle to actually get it done was it took about 17 to 20 some hours. I don't even remember. And it was a very heavy emotional, inner search. I remember feeling like, wow, I've been through some stuff. And while that was very true, it really went into a very raw place within myself. Very, very raw. It's not the kind of place you really want to feel within yourself. I don't think at any given day without stuff and you have a full day ahead of you. You really need to set some blocks of time apart for this program. Any case, so it is pretty heavy in the feelings. And then with that, what emerges is a sense of who we are. I remember I didn't discuss this on the other video. I remember that really feeling like I was this person that has a people person type personality. That sounds very people person type personality. I really found that that's one of the aspects to me, especially since in high school I was expressive, wanted to be in a rock band, was in one-act play. I found myself comfortable in front of people. And so, see if we can follow the train of thought here. Well, prior to Jordan Peterson's self-authoring program, I had already made maybe 100 YouTube videos. I think what I saw was okay, so I'm clearly drawn to this type of work. 1, because I love it. 2, because I feel I'm good at it. 3, there's also a running current that's consistently expressing itself in this creative work, whether it's making videos, music, writing. There's a creative streak in me that likes to come out in some way, shape, or form. And YouTube is one of those things. So I said, okay, well, I already have the goal to do YouTube videos, and I've already made YouTube videos. And now this program is helping me see how this is a consistent theme in my life. By looking at what's known as epochs in the program, you start seeing parts of yourself, almost like a way that you can connect the dots and look back and say, I see what's kind of going on here with me. And I think you get to really see who you are. And in that, I think you have to stop running on some level. I think you have to stop running. And that is what I'm able to verbalize now more so. I looked at the video, the one I had made 6 months after, and I don't think I had processed it as much. Yes, I was on an upward trajectory. Yes, things were going better. And also I had gone through a car accident. So things were really, really challenging. Right, I was in the middle of this huge storm when I made that 6 months video. And here I am. I don't think I'm in the middle of a storm as much as I am in a stage of both developmental challenges and enjoying some of the work I've been really putting into some from 2015, over the last decade, really kind of enjoying a little bit of that. A little bit. I'm not, by any stretch of the imagination, free of my burdens. There's still plenty of work ahead of me. So that's where I find myself mentally. I'm in a very good mental space, I should say. I'm in a very good mental space. And it's not, again, that things are perfect. Just because I say that does not mean things are perfect by any stretch, okay? It just means I'm able to handle the challenges with a little more resilience and a little bit more of trusting my gut and doing my best with what is, okay? So that's the biggest growth. It was a year and 3 months after the program. So what I felt the program did was it established 3 strengths, or 3 main priorities. And I already know them by memory, but I'm going to that's why my eyes are going to shift behind me, because I have them on a wall here. The priorities would be to go to bed early and wake up early. Also focus on my YouTube channel, as I'm doing now. And just to build better career skills. That was it. Again, so I'm going to say this again. Focus on my YouTube and social media presence. And I told you how that came to be, because I saw it as a creative outlet that I have. Focus on my career skills, which is training, coaching, being in better shape, and also going to bed early and waking up early. And today especially, I really found that I'm really getting pleasure now from going to sleep early and waking up early, and I'm starting to get a really deep level of self gratification from doing that. Whereas before, let's say a year ago, I would have been more yeah, I know that's ideal, but I really don't like to. I'll do it, but I don't like to. Or yeah, sure, I kind of like it. Or now I'm really getting this deep pleasure of doing that, of going to bed early, waking up early. It's more of a nurturing feeling I get. Almost like I'd get more pleasure from doing that than a scoop of ice cream. Does that make sense? I'd give you a good picture as to how that feels internally for me. Say the most delicious ice cream you can imagine. I get more pleasure from having a certain level of self-discipline, going to sleep early and waking up early, and eating right and working out, than I would that delicious meal or ice cream. Okay, that's a good picture as to what shift has occurred in the last year. Now, it doesn't mean I hadn't worked out or I hadn't had any experience with dieting. I think that's kind of an advanced feeling I'm feeling. The program helped me really dig deep into the core, the subconscious, really plant the goals in my mind of what I wanted, really helped me see. I studied more books on the importance of sleeping. So I don't think the program just is an end-all be-all, but when we're done with it, we start collecting data, okay, this is what I need to focus on. And gently our mind moves in that direction and our behavior start moving in that direction. And there's 3 things I needed to reduce. And that was obviously going to bed late, because, so I really saw that as one of my big Achilles tendons there, is going to sleep late. So had to stop doing that. Partying, adult entertainment, fapping, anything that had to do with excessive, exuberant fun, whether it's alcohol, partying too much, adult entertainment, you get the idea. Anything that was just sort of for the frivolous fun of it, without really a deeper introspective look of harnessing energy and power, transmutation, these higher level concepts that they're not easily explained even. If you understood that, you're already on another level. If you even think that has validity, what I just said there, again, to reduce partying, excessive, exuberant, promiscuous, fapping, adult entertainment, and taking some of that frivolous expended energy and harnessing it and transmuting it into positive, more productive elements across body, being, balance, and business. Really dialing in on that and really pouring into those aspects and really immersing oneself into those elements and really identifying with them. If that makes sense to you, if I did not lose you just now, you, I think, are already on another level that you should examine yourself, and you'd be a good candidate for the program of self-authoring. I think anyone would be. I just definitely think that if you can understand, because the program, it's not like a computer program, it's not an app that does all the work for you. You have to type, you have to be introspective, and you have to be self-aware, and you have to trust in yourself, and it's a very in-depth look. So that's where you start getting the fruit of the work of this program. So it's a year and 3 months later. So now, I could literally look at the stuff that was holding me back, and I could say, man, why was that such a challenge for me back then? But the adolescent aspect to me was still very prevalent at that time. Like, I've slowly been doing my best to, repress or kill the beta in me, the adolescence in me, like put them in its place and be more adult-like and harness like inner intrinsic energy and sexual energy and all these things, right? But I'd be lying to you if I said that that's been super easy and I could just snap my fingers and that's always been what I've been into and I've always been able to do that and oh my goodness, it's so easy. Like, that's not the truth, okay? The truth is what I'm saying, that I've done a lot of inner work. I've done hundreds of hours meditating. I've studied the way of the superior man. I've studied sexual transmutation. I've studied Think and Grow Rich. I've studied, done the self-authoring program, the past authoring program. I've studied the Warrior's Way, done stacking with the Warrior's Way and the Core 4 and like countless hours of self-development and looked at addictive behavior, recovery, self-behavior patterns, adaptive adolescence. Like, I have an extensive quest for personal development. And when I look at my dad, for example, like, I think the guy, who I love dearly, by the way, he's in such a pit of his own doing, partly because he was born with a small case of cerebral palsy that he got because of a damage that the doctor did to his brain. He held not enough oxygen got to his brain when he was very young. And that led to a small case of cerebral palsy. But when I look at my dad, I'm hurt a little by seeing the struggles that he has having this disability and what it did to him on a psychological level. He's super smart, dude. Like, the guy is all there. And he's gone through so much. He had to get a stent in his heart during Christmas, and that was heavy. Like I said, things aren't perfect on this side of the screen here. Like, what I'm saying is that through all of these battles, I see like, oh, okay, like, I have to overcome a lot of and I mean this with respect, I have to overcome a lot of the upbringing and the lack of modeling that I was given as a kid. Now, to his credit, I was given a lot of good modeling. Like, I know what a masculine role is. He supplied for the family. He had a sense of humor. He was macho in his demeanor many times. So I had a good model on many levels. He taught me chess. I had a good model on many levels. I think that now, all these years later, I'm the age now that he was when my mom and him got a divorce. And I see how I've really been a backdrop to see, okay, I am doing better than my dad was in some ways. And I say that with a sense of humility. And I think that programs like self-authoring and the disciplines it allows us to examine and own, and the behaviors that we own through it, allows us to really start working and turning the wheel of our ship into a better direction. Let's just say we're headed to our truer north with a program like this, and without it, let's just say we were maybe like headed in this direction, which, let's say this is where you're headed now, like a more true north. I'm not even going to go full through. I'm sure I have my issues still, but I'm saying maybe I'm here, and this is 100% really going to our true north, walking our purpose, and I feel like I'm like right here, and then this is maybe where I was, and then let's just say I've been like something like that, like just really off course, right? So that would give you an idea as to how I see the program. It's not the end all be all. I never have said that. I will tell you that those 20 hours I invested were very smart and they were very well calculated, and I'm very happy I did it because I plan to go to bed early. I plan to get my rest. I plan to eat well, count my calories today. I'm going to head back to work here in a bit and train some people, train a client. And I feel very at peace in my life, and I feel very hopeful. And, I'm full of love. And even with that, while I'm full of love and full of joy, I'm also have enough dignity and self-control and value myself enough not to be walked all over. So that's a pretty good picture of what's going on in a year in 3 months since I did the self-authoring, past authoring. This is Jacob Adams. Thanks for watching. I hope this has helped you. If you're 6 months in or 3 months in after self-authoring, maybe comment what you've discovered. Maybe you're 2 years in or 3 years in. I would like to give you an update. Maybe 2 years later. You know, that would be cool. Maybe a 2-year mark coming up here in November 2019. That would be a good time to revisit this concept again. I'd love to hear what you have to say, any questions you have about this on Jordan Peterson self-authoring or past authoring. I'd love to hear your point. I have the future authoring, but I have not sat down to do it. And maybe it's time. Maybe I should get home today and start the process of future authoring. Maybe this is where this is headed. Maybe that's why I made this video. I don't know, subconsciously, maybe that's what I need to do. Yeah. Love to hear your thoughts. We'll see you next time. Bye.